Zayin, seventh letter of the 22-letter Hebrew alphabet. Be seen as axe, weapon, knife, regard, ticket master, bouncer, restriction, either in or out. Spectacular display, distinguished, a spectacle of honor, exalted, guarded entrance, inaccessible except by permission. Pinnacle, peak of its type, full, guarded by the sworn oath. Only by keeping the vow shall one open the sealed entry, set apart. Looking at the chart, reading Aleph through Tav, we have the word stop, weapon, cut off, tree full of ripe fruit, hurdle, bouncer, restriction, killed, entry pass, ticket stub, red heifer sacrifice, command to yield or die, tilling, plowshare. Tool, implement of force, turbulence, load, shear pressure, crucifixion, pruning, enough, distinction between, notice, look, regard this, phase maximum, pendulum, circumcision, winnowing fork, purging, exclusive. On the shield card, Ezekiel 11 verses 17 through 21, I thought had some Zayin themes. And it reads, therefore say, thus said Yahweh, I will assemble you from the nations and gather you in from the lands where you have been scattered and give you the land of Israel. They will come there and remove all its detestations and all its abominations from it. I will give them an undivided heart, and I will place a new spirit in them. I will remove the heart of stone from their flesh and give them a heart of flesh, so that they may walk in my decrees and observe my laws and fulfill them. Then they will be a people unto me, and I will be a God to them. But those whose heart follows the heart of their detestations and abominations, I will place the consequences of their way upon their head, the word of Yahweh. Page 193 begins the section on Zayin in the Red Dictionary. That first paragraph gives quite a bit of information. I'm going to challenge you today to pause the video after I give the word and see if you can find it yourself. We'll start with Zayin Hey Bet. On page 194 is defined as gold, to gild, to plate with gold. Glittered like gold, he gilded, plated with gold. Zayin Resh Het. On page 203 is defined to rise, shine. It rose, shone. It rose, said of light and of the sun. It broke forth, said of leprosy. He caused to rise, caused to shine. He went eastward. It broke forth, appeared, was made to shine. Zayin, Ayin, Kuf. On page 201 is defined to cry, call. He cried, cried out, called, was called together, was assembled, was convoked. He cried, called, he called together, convoked, was called together, was convoked. He burst into shouting, was assembled, was convoked. Zayin, Mem, Nun. On page 200 is defined to prepare, make ready, to invite. He summoned for an appointed time or an appointed place. He prepared, made ready, he invited, summoned. He said grace after a meal, was prepared, was made ready. Chanced, met, happened to occur, made ready, he invited, he ordered, was invited, was ordered. Zayin, Kaf, Resh. On page 198 is defined to remember. He remembered, called to mind, he mentioned, was remembered, was mentioned, was remembered, was brought to mind, he caused to be remembered, he mentioned, he commemorated, he offered a memorial sacrifice. That definition continues on to include male, and it's quite a long definition. Zayin, Kaf, wa, tov. On page 198 is defined privilege, benefit, legal right, title, favor, advantage, merit, virtue, credit side of an account, asset, innocence, acquittal, victory with an aleph added to that word. He was pure, was innocent, was free from guilt. Zayin, wa, dalit. On page 195 is defined to fit out, equip, to provision. Was equipped, was provisioned, was fitted out. Provisions for the journey, personal military equipment of a soldier. The Zayin section in Psalms 119 is verses 49 through 56, and reading the definitions of the Zayin words that begin each line of the stanza would read something like, remember the pure matter with consequences following this. Malicious breach of wanton insolence must stop. Enough. Mildness, leniency, rides on purity, cleanliness. Remember, divine punishment is premature death, extermination. Storm of terror, trembling, tree branches in a wind, violently fluttering. Dark songs, despicable throat, gloomy, bitter, curtailed authority. Prune the potentially abounding indulgence. I remember. Recall this, how you considered my music to be cheap and agitating. As my authority is truncated, so is my disposition of indulging. No regard of my rule equals no lenient regard of you. Dark, gloomy attitudes cuts expression of pity, exposing you to your enemies as vulnerable, unprotected, subject to extermination. This. I'd like to dissect Psalms 1, verse 2 today. And if you're just learning the Paleo Hebrew letters, those would be read as Kaf Yod, Aleph Mem, Bet Tav Wa, Resh Tav. In the blue is Yod He Wah He, Het Pe Zadi Wa, Wa Bet Tav, Wa Resh Tav Wa, Yod He Gimel He, Yod Wa Mem Mem, Wa Lamed Yod Lamed He. So that first word, the Kaf Yod, is defined thus, therefore, because, while, then, in case, in order that, burning, branding. And underneath, I have just the meaning of the letters themselves, and I would see that as strong hand in action, offering help exactly as needed. The next word, Aleph Mem, is defined nation, people. And looking at those letters, I would say it is executive plan, incubating function secure, perfect environment of sustenance and growth. And that third word, the Bet Tav Wa Resh, is defined as cut up into pieces, possibly like making something more understandable. On the Tav Wa Resh part is search out, explore, sought out, found, showed the way, made a tour, curiosity. And looking at all of those letters in that word, I would say it's like incubating the covenant with assurance, equal or combined with exalting, fully living the covenant. Caught, barbed, connection, blends, righteous decision maker, covenant sign for sure. Again, we have the Yod He Wah He in the blue. The next word, Het Pe Zadi Wa, as the suffix is dropped, and that is defined to delight, take pleasure, wish. And looking at all the letters, I would say it's like set apart, treasure, segregated area, protected, very best provision, words, expression, righteous spring forth, exuberant, resurrection, connection, blend, caught. The next word, I could find the Tav Wa Resh in the dictionary, and that's defined to spy out, search out, explore, He sought out, he made a reconnaissance, showed the way, made a tour, curiosity. Looking at all of the letters, I use connection blend for the wa, for the bet, container, encased, for the tav, covenant sign, sealed, approved, guaranteed. For the wa, blend. The resh would be like righteous decision maker. The tav, covenant sign, and then the wa, connection, blend, caught, barbed. Looking at the hey gimel hey, that is defined in Klein's dictionary as brilliance, radiance. And my look at all of those letters would be by my hand, strength, working, exclamation, look here, pay attention, direction, moving, send and retrieve, exuberant exclamation. The yod wa mem mem is defined as daily. And looking at all of those letters, I would use by my hand, help extended, strength, working, connection, blend, nurturing sustenance, incubation, environment. And the last word, lamed yod lamed hey, is defined as night or at night. And using all of the letters would be connection blend for the wa, teach learn instructions for the lamed, by my strong hand for the yod, again a lamed, teach and learn, and then a hey at the end, look here. So if I use the dictionary definitions, I might say this verse is something like, in order that my people search out and delight by my name, the way of brilliance daily. And if I look at all of the letters, I would use this rendition. Thus my plan offered to you, my people, search out, explore the covenant, become worthy. By my name, be set apart, protected, watch the expression of righteousness exuberantly springing forth, caught and understood, righteousness for sure on display. By the strength of my working hand, my active participation, moving exuberantly, help extended for perfect sustenance for your learning with exuberant excitement, emphasis, and joy. So to review, we have Zayin, that seventh letter of the alphabet. We could say it's set apart, exalted, cut off, exclusive. It might compare to the seventh-day Sabbath. This is from an article available on erictology.net. It has the Zayin, I cut you off from the ways of the world, the common and conventional, and equip you for conflict. I adorn you with the key to my heart, my Aleph Bet. So that's it for Zayin, and next week we'll take a look at Chet.